his head. The man tightened his grasp on his sword's handle and swung again. This time Shinae was ready for him and drove her dirk into his armpit and upward of his fighting arm, while at the same time she sliced his abdomen with the ski-and-do in her left hand. Neither were death blows, but the one across his gut would almost likely turn deadly if not treated quickly. The soldier took a step back and glared at her as he fought to keep his sword from falling. Shinae debated whether she would leave him to die a long death or let her dirk fly right into his chest, ending his misery and any chance to be a threat again. Seeing she was going to attack, he suddenly hunched over, pressed his free hand against his stomach wound, and took an unsteady step backward.
"You do not want to kill me. I'm important,"
he huffed in pain.
"I know things your king would be interested in. Help me, and I will tell you what I know. Don't, and you will wish you had."
Shinae eyed him and knew, unlikely as it was, he was telling the truth. Like her father, she had an instinct about people that had, over time, proven nearly infallible. She thought of it as her inner angel, giving voice to God's guidance. It was not a look or information gleaned from brief contact that she could discern someone's motivations. It was something she just knew. Unfortunately, the knowledge could not be summoned on command. Yet, when her inner voice gave direction definitively, one way or the other, it was never wrong, and today it was telling her that this man was not lying. The soldier may not be an English commander, as he claimed, but he had information as if he were one. The malevolent look in his dark eyes and the tight grip he had on his hilt also made it clear he intended to see her dead. Shinae waved her hand over the bodies around her. "What use do I have to save someone who attacks godly women who pray to the Lord?" His eyes narrowed as he glanced down at the death she had caused. His gaze slowly travelled up her bloodied white-robed form.
"You're no nun,"
he scoffed. Somewhere underneath the 4 lives she had already ended were her wimple and veil. She did not care much for their loss. Both garments had been poorly made. All the nuns had to make their own habits, which consisted of tunic, cincture, wimple, and veil. Hers were passable, but Shinae was not nearly as skilled with a needle as she was with a dagger. Still, even bloody, it was obvious she was wearing the white habit of the order. "But I am," Shinae responded, as a slow smile curved her soft mouth. "I just wasn't always one."
"And you won't be one for much longer," he snarled. "There's no escape, and my men are coming."
Using all his fury, he blocked the pain and regripped his sword, hinting that he was about to attack. Unconsciously, Shinae spun her small dirk in her palm. Unlike her younger sister Bari, she had always enjoyed the touch of a blade in her hand. It did not make her feel powerful, but rather gave her a sense of peace. For the past few years, holding a knife was the one thing that made her feel like she still had some control over her life, that the church had not totally erased who she was. Until now, she had never wielded a blade in self-defense. Then again, she had never needed to either. For all the defense training her father had made her and her sister do in her youth, Shinae never really thought she would use it. Her father was a very successful traveling merchant, and had made sure both his daughters could protect themselves, if ever necessary. After the death of her mother, he had left Shinae to live with his sister in a small community nestled in the Highlands. Shinae had been on the verge of womanhood, and he had thought it best. 4 years later, her younger sister joined her at the priory. Her aunt had been part of a group of God-fearing men and women who did not believe in making monastic vows, but in serving the Lord by helping those in need in the community. Shinae committed herself to the life and continued to stay with them after her aunt passed away in her sleep. Her sister continued to stay as well, but had been far too spirited and willful to join the priory as a member. She contributed, but had been far more interested in drawing, reading books, and learning than spending her days caring for others. All was well until 5 years ago. The priory had been one of the few left in Scotland, and after it caught on fire and burned to the ground, there had been nowhere for them to go.